A 16-member team from Florida, Georgia, and North and South Carolina served in Honduras. God provided through many people an abundance of supplies and funds needed. When we arrived in San Pedro Sula, some of our luggage was pulled aside by customs because of the meds, ointments, and vitamins they contained. The customs agent showed me a very large stack of many boxes they had confiscated earlier for inadequate documentation. The team began to pray. After pleading, praying, and waiting, the agent said we could go. You can imagine the rejoicing that took place as we walked through the doors to the rest of our awaiting team. This is why we ask for prayer. Our first assignment was the grocery store to purchase food we would distribute. Because of the generosity of those who gave, we were able to purchase 150 bags of rice, beans, salt, tortilla flour, and lard. These bags would be given to families, showing them God's provision. On Sunday evening, we had the honor of attending the Philadelphia church. The worship was lively and uplifting, and we felt the presence of the Lord. One team member shared a song, another a dance, and another the word. It was wonderful to come together with our brothers and sisters to glorify our Father. Ladies of the team went to Soloras Nuevos for a baby shower for 36 women who were pregnant or had given birth within the last year. These women also brought their other children, and we were able to bless each mom with clothes for each child. We sang. A message was given by a team member about Mary Magdalene, how Jesus rescued her, loved her, and called her. We prayed over each woman and child and gave them food for their families. While the women were ministering in the village, the men stayed at the Whitefields compound and built 2 picnic tables that will be used many times as teams come to minister. We held a vacation Bible school in 3 locations, lively music with fun motions, games, and a story about the lost sheep and how God looked for, rescued, and cared for him was presented. Of course, candy packets were always in abundance as the children left the programs, leaving us with smiles and hugs. Our hearts were filled to overflowing as God allowed us to speak his word and show his love to these children. At one meeting, a team member led some of the girls in a dance of worship to God. It was beautiful, and the mothers watched on with pride and smiles as their girls worshiped God. We stopped by an orphanage with 8 girls ranging from ages 12 to 19, visiting with them for a few minutes and dropping off food and medicines. It was a delight to see their joy and appreciation for our visit and gifts. It was obvious they are well cared for. We visited a local nursing home. A message was given about Ruth and how God cared for her. Together we sang, "I have decided to follow Jesus." How appropriate for these so close to the end of their journey in this life to say faithful to the end.
Still I will follow, no one go with me. Still I will follow, no turning back, no turning.
We visited 2 schools, the first to a small village where Rosa teaches 35 children, kindergarten through 6th grade, in a 1-room schoolhouse. As the bus pulled into the school grounds, the children exuberantly ran out of the school, yelling and laughing. They were so eager to see us we could hardly get out of the bus because they were crowding around, wanting to hug every team member. Here we sang, played games, and heard the story of the lost sheep. The interns had prepared a craft for the children. One of our friends handmade 130 school bags, which we filled with crayons and a toothbrush and gave to each child. I watched as one little girl took out her toothbrush, smiled, and held it to her heart. Then the team brought in bags of food and vitamins for each child. Rosa was very surprised and asked, "What is this?" We told her we brought them for each child and for her. With tears welling up in her eyes, she said, "You don't know what this means. Many of our children come to school with empty stomachs. This will help them and their families so much. So often the things we take for granted, the things we have in abundance, are the things that are treasures and sustenance to others." The second was at the local school where there were about 90 children, kindergarten through 6th, divided into 4 classrooms. There are 4 teachers here, and there were 3 interns who will graduate this year. The team divided into 2 groups, one teaching English and our songs and movements to the VBS video, and the other doing a craft and teaching English. The music video had the children moving and laughing and singing about God's power. The rest of the team played on the swings and seesaws and with jump ropes, hula hoops, soccer balls with the children. We handed out the school bags with candy and toothbrush. The children loved their very own bag and excitedly jumped around, showing each other their treasure. Then came a meeting with about 12 youth on the Whitefields compound. The interns led music, a team member gave a message of encouragement and the need for a personal relationship with God. Then we all prayed over each one, asking God to draw them closer to Him and give them direction for the future. We participated in 2 prayer walks in neighboring villages. The team loaded their arms with heavy bags of food and set out down the rock-laden path to knock on the door of each home. After listening to their needs, we prayed and gave food to their families. It was good to encourage these folks and speak of the power of God to meet their needs. On the second walk, there were several men at home, and it was an uplifting time for us as we were able to pray specifically for them to be the spiritual head of their home, to encourage them to listen for God's direction and follow Him. On our last day of ministry, the men finished the picnic table project while the ladies had a meeting with the women in the local area. 53 women showed up. We were told this was a record number for their gatherings. A message was given about Jochebed and how God heard her prayer to protect her son Moses. We presented a craft for the ladies, a decorative bag that they will use over and over. We had refreshments together and gave clothing to both the women and children. We all left encouraged and thankful that we were a part of God's plan to bless. Thank you to those who gave financially, supplied medicine, school supplies, and clothing, prayed for safe travel and God's favor on this trip. It was a time of joy watching God bless others through your obedience.